Okay, so it is now December the 28th, 2021. It's a Tuesday here in central Indiana, about 1:45 in the afternoon. Hey, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, maybe even the like button if you like. Try to get this video out to as many people that are in lawn care as possible. If you're just getting started in the industry, if you've been in it for a while and you're looking at maybe a different way or wanting some idea as to how somebody else gets started for their season, hopefully this will help you. I want to talk briefly today about things you could do for 2022 for it to be your best year in lawn care. Why not? Be better than last year. The last couple of years have been tough for a lot of people because of COVID-19. We don't know where Omicron is just yet, and whether you believe in it or not, the fact of the matter is it's having an impact on our economy. And if you're on the residential side of the industry, especially like me, it's not as bad as it was in 2020, but we had a lot of people start doing their own lawn care. They were at home. There were lockdowns. They were able to get out and do stuff, and they needed to cut costs, or maybe they had the time. Whatever the case may be, they couldn't afford it. We lost a lot of business. Now, we rebounded somewhat this calendar year, and I'm hopeful that 2022 is going to be my best year in a long time. So I always tell people this: just because I do something one way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You might do it differently, and you might produce the equal results that I produce. Maybe you even produce better results, and that's good. I want to see everybody succeed, okay? First thing I want to say briefly: other lawn care companies that are local to you are not your competition. Now, you might not like some of them, and they might not like you or whatever, but I would encourage you to have as many relationships in the industry as you can as possible, because what you will find over time, especially if you're on good standing with these people, is they may take on business that they can no longer handle, and they may contact you. If they like you, that could be an easy source of good of referrals. So try to be on good hands with people, or good standing with people. Plus, if they get behind, they need some help, they might be willing to call you and give you that business. So be on good standing with all lawn care businesses. Maybe even approach them and say hi. If it's a smaller outfit like yourself, if you're a single solo operator, go out and have coffee with the guy or something sometime. You might even be able to tag team on some projects. Although I wouldn't encourage doing that a lot, there may be some that you could do where you could make some money, okay? But what I want to do briefly is talk about this coming calendar year. And the first thing I always tell people to do is reevaluate your monthly cost of living. That's for your home. For if you're married and you make maybe you pay all the bills, or maybe you and your spouse or your significant other share the bills, whatever your contribution is each month, whatever that number is, write it down on paper, refigure it out where everything is at. And that way you know each month what your cost of living. I'm talking about your house. So I'll talk about your rent or your mortgage, your food bill, the power bill, if you have a telephone bill, internet bill, all that kind of stuff, okay? Everything for home. And then if you have business overhead, we're looking at things like business insurance. Maybe you have a truck payment. Maybe you've got some equipment financing that you have to pay, whatever it may be. Figure out all those numbers and add them up. So you know at the end of the month, the bottom line dollar amount that you have to make to break even, okay? And this includes gasoline. It's not easy to kind of really understand right now where we're going to be at with gasoline. Over the last year, it's gone through the roof. And so I would just plan, plan a high number. If you're recording all your numbers, and if you're using a program like QuickBooks or something like I do, you can look back at what you were paying to get a general idea of what you spent. But the idea is just to get an idea of what you have to make each month for you to break even. And then from there, everything above that, okay, is going to be what you're making for profit. But understand this: if your cost of living is $5,000 and you make $5,000, you're not breaking even at $5,000 because you've got to pay taxes on that to some extent. So what I would encourage you to do is, whatever your profit is, you're going to pay taxes on. So if your monthly goal, let's say, okay, let's do this. Let's say you had 75 houses you were going to cut each week, okay, at $40. I think that's somewhere around $3,000 a week that you would bring in. So at 4 weeks, you're going to bring in 12 grand that month at 75 properties at $40. Now, how do you do that? A couple of things you want to do. You want to focus on route density, okay? So if I got a property here that I'm mowing, I'm not going to wait for the neighbors to reach out to me and ask me about mowing. Every time I get a new property, I'm going to send a letter with my business card in to that person one time. Hey, this is Joshua. I Cut Grass LLC. I'm mowing this address. Just thought I'd let you know I'm in the area. I can mow you. I'm mowing grass every week on this day typically or whatever. I can add you, into the route if you'd like, cut, trim, and blow at X, amount. Let's say you're charging $40, right? Maybe, you want to bump your prices to people that are not close to each other to $50. Say, hey, you're close to this guy. I can reduce it to $40 for you. Next thing you know, you're able to knock out 2 properties in an hour. That's $80, or maybe even 3 properties, depending. I'm just using an example. You come up with the numbers that you want, but if $40 is the baseline, for example, I'm not going to mow grass for less than $40. I haven't done it for many years. I don't care if somebody comes out and offers me $20. Can you cut the grass right now? No, I can't. I've got to be real and true to myself. I've got other things I have to do. Because in addition to mowing, I've got to do the maintenance. In addition to maintenance, I got to be a daddy. I got to be a husband. I've got other things I have to do. I have my time too. So the bottom line is, as much as I like other people, 2022 for me is all about paying down some debt. I've got some debt that I want to knock off. Maybe you want to do the same thing, okay? So what we've done here is we've looked at whatever our total cost is, and then we figured our taxes. We were figuring out where we want to be with profit margin. What do you want to see in your pocket by the end of the year? Set yourself some financial goals. Maybe you want to have $25,000 free and clear in the bank. So when the season is over and you've paid all your costs of living and you've paid yourself a little bit of money too, you also have $25,000 in the bank. Whatever it is, you set the number and then hold yourself accountable to it. I read a long time ago somewhere that 65-75% of the time when you're able to write your goals down on paper, it is significant, or it's 65-75% probability that it's going to happen. In other words, you're more successful when you write your goals down. Now, everybody's got smartphones these days. You got e-calendars and everything, and I've got those built into my phone through Outlook, which I still run Outlook, and I might change that this year. This is a paper day minder. I still use paper too. I like paper, okay? You can use whatever you want, but I've got an e-copy and I've got a paper copy, and I like that. I like having the paper copy, but for mine, okay, you can see each month, so you can turn to a page for January and see all of January there. I use that to write down all my bills and everything. Then you can break down, you open the next page, and it's going to be the week broken down into 7 days. So I can write down my properties I'm going to be mowing, estimates, meetings, whatever I'm going to do. I've got them on here. The cool thing about having them on my smartphone too, or one of my smartphones, is that the address is in there automatically with the GPS. It pulls up. All I got to do is push a button. I don't have to punch the address into the GPS, and I'm driving more quickly to that next property. Okay, that helps me to get from A to B and minimize that, what I call windshield time, which is you're not making any money, you're burning gas, maybe getting caught in traffic, or accidents, or construction, whatever that baloney is. But that's what I do to kind of help myself get from A to B more quickly. Now, when we're looking at getting more business, a couple of things I would encourage you to consider doing. Business cards. Every time, if you're going out to dinner, wherever you're going, leave a business card wherever you go. They got those little places where, the businesses, you can put your business card into what I call a business card bank at the restaurant or whatever. Put it in there. Slip one in a folder when you pay the bill after you're done. Everywhere you go, put out a business card. You meet somebody, hey, you hand them a business card. My name's Joshua. I cut grass for a living. Here you go. They might throw it away. So what? We don't know. But they might also keep it, and they might come back to pay you dividends in the future. In addition to that, if you don't have a Google listing already, get yourself a Google listing. It's free. People do Google searches. Maybe put one on Yahoo and the other search engines as well. Facebook. Utilize Facebook. The neighborhood associations have pages. Contact them. Ask them if you can join the group. Let them know what you do. You can get more business that way. Nextdoor is similar. There's a lot of stuff you can do for free to get more business, and I would encourage you to do that. Okay, I've gotten a lot of business that way. I think it works. It's definitely worth your time. If you don't have T-shirts yet, get yourself T-shirts. Okay, with your phone number on it. Wear it everywhere you go. Wear it everywhere you go. If you're going to grow your business, wear the T-shirt everywhere you go. Now, I'm not saying wear the same doggone T-shirt. Get yourself 5, 10, 20, whatever, so you have clean ones, okay, and something that you can keep super nice, so when you go to networking events or whatever, you've got something nice to wear. But have your T-shirts everywhere that you go. Proper personal protective gear. Guys, We're talking about glasses when you're cutting grass. We're talking about hearing protection. We're talking about sunblock, okay? We're talking about masks. A lot of people don't want to wear masks because they don't want to give in to the COVID-19 because they think it's a conspiracy or they have an immune system. That's fine. You do you. But when you're out cutting grass and it's windy and that grass is blowing in the air or that fertilizer is in the air, you're breathing that in. Sometimes you get out in some of these rural properties that you're mowing and the bugs are flying up in your face. If you have a mask out there, man, it makes it a lot more easy or tolerable to get through the day. So consider, consider your proper protective gear. Really, really important. If you haven't shopped out your insurance for a while, consider doing that. Take this time that is down, and if you already don't have an equipment list with your, your model numbers and your serial numbers, do that. Okay, do that so you have that, and then make sure that you've got that coverage for that equipment. Understand the difference between replacement cost and actual cash value, okay? Replacement cost is going to get you the money to get you exactly what you had when you lost, whereas actual cash value takes into consideration depreciation, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get exactly what you had beforehand. Understand your deductible on your insurance. And when you have questions for your insurance coverage, send it via email to your agent. That way, when he or she responds, you have an e-copy, okay? And you file it. Either print it out and file it with your insurance policy or file it electronically in an e-folder in your email. That way, if you have a loss down the road and you say, hey, I asked you about this, you said it was covered. He says, no, I made a mistake. Well, you said so in the email and I've got it here. You've got, you're able to hold your insurance agent accountable. This isn't something where you're trying to back your insurance agent into a corner, okay? And get him to pay for something, but that's his job. His job is to know insurance. You're just making sure that you're covered, okay? Make sure you understand your general liability, your commercial auto, and whether or not you need an umbrella policy. What I always would like to do is I'll send an email every so often out to my agent. Say, hey, I reviewed my policy, blah, blah, blah. What areas of exposure are out there that I should worry about? It's important to me that I'm completely covered. Tell me what else I should have so I'm completely covered, so I don't have any areas of loss. They'll tell you what what possible areas you're looking at or whatever. Then you can look at adding endorsements, increasing your coverage limits, adjusting your deductible, for example, perhaps. Is there a paid in full discount? Is there a discount if there's EFT every month? So forth and so on. Guys, this year could be your best year that you've had in business, but it requires a little bit of work. Get yourself goals. Hold yourself accountable to those goals. It's a lot easier if I know this week I'm mowing 75 properties because I built a route. It's a lot easier for me to get up and move each day knowing where I'm at in that process. I'm 30 lawns into a lawn and it's into the list and it's Wednesday. It's easier for me to get through the day throughout Wednesday opposed to, man, I don't know how many lawns I've cut. I've got to cut all these lawns still. It's hot. It's rainy. I'm tired. There are going to be a million different distractions and reasons that you're going to find yourself hearing in your mind, okay, on a day-to-day basis that makes it hard enough as is and easier to do the work and easier to give up. Whereas when you, when you have the goals written down, that you can stay focused, say, oh, crap, I've got 46 more yards today. I'm going to knock out 10, maybe 15 today, maybe even 20. Who knows? I'm going to get there. And then I have the weekend off. Maybe you had the weekend off. Or maybe on the weekend, you take those calls that come through for one-time mows. Okay? Who knows? You can do whatever you want, but give yourself goals. Make them realistic, but don't make them too easy. Okay? If you can mow 120 yards a week, and you can do that comfortably within your territory, the way the homes and properties are laid out, don't give yourself a goal of 400 lawns a week. That's ridiculous, okay? At the same time, if you're only cutting 25 yards a week and you're doing nothing else, and you have these financial goals, and you want to pay your house off, or you want to, propose to your girlfriend, or you want to fund your retirement, you want to go to Disneyland, you want to build a home, whatever it is, it's got to be realistic. At least for me in this industry, in the winter, if it doesn't snow, I don't have a lot going on. And I've been considering for several years starting another business. And I'm still toying with ideas what I want to do on that. But there's so much downtime that, man, if I could go out and mow, I don't care if it's 25 yards. I'd go do it today. if I had it available, because I can't stand being down. Downtime for me leads to depression. It's wasted time you can't get back. It's non-productive. And we don't live to work, okay? We work to live. So you shouldn't work your life away. But I firmly believe that there are periods of time where it's beneficial for you to dump yourself into your work, okay? To reap the benefits, you know, the dividends down the road for the hard work that you're able to do now. Don't put something off till tomorrow if you can do it today and you have the time, you know, and the ability to do it today. So I hope this video helps you, just sharing some stuff that I'm thinking about. Maybe you're thinking about it too. Maybe it helps you to hear it to come from someone else's mouth, and maybe it's even going to give you some ideas. I hope that this year was a good year for you, but understand this, even if you failed in 2021, you can always bounce back, okay? You can always come back and have an outstanding year. It ain't over until it's over. It's not over yet. 2022 is going to be one of the best years available when you look, or, you know, for you to work. If you're able to apply yourself, and we can't control obviously what's going to happen with the economy, but we can't also hide in the shell and just sit and do nothing. So you got to have a positive attitude. Set yourself some goals, man, and make 2022, you know, a year that you can look back and be very proud of and say, hey, this is the year that I turned my life around, or this is the year that my business really took off, or this is the year that I really started putting things into you know, setting goals. It's never too late to start saving. It's, you know, no matter how many times you have fucked your life up, time and time and time and time and time again, you can fix it now. You can stop it now. I hope this helps, guys. Have a great year.